everyone, how are you today? Today, we're going to talk about the word fermenting. Does it sound familiar? Where did I hear those words? Well, as you all know, fermenting is a basic process in culinary or in cooking. Just like in home, we cook foods, sometimes we ferment it, right? To make it more yummier, like the sinigang. We put acid ingredients like to be more masarap. But as you all know, fermenting is not just a word for culinary. There is other meanings of fermenting in other different situations. But before that, let me tell you the different definition and uses of fermenting in other situations. Do you have an idea where this fermenting is used? Well, I'm gonna share to you two things. The first thing is in culinary, it is a process where they store the food for a long time with the help of acid ingredients to make the true flavor to come out. Just like what we do on our own home, right? We ferment the sinigang dish. We we ferment it for maybe 1 to 2 days and before we eat it. This is also used in medical laboratories. And an example of this is creating a vaccine. They get different blood samples and they're going to put chemicals, antibodies, and some old vaccine medicines they have created. And they are going to ferment it so that they see the possible effects and reaction of this to different blood types. So this is very helpful, right? It's not just a simple word. Now, I want to know how does fermenting can be related to life situations. Do you have an idea how fermenting can be related to our daily lives or life situations? Let me think. Do you have? Do you have? Do you have? Well, I'm gonna share my opinion and experience for you. I think fermenting is an important part of life because it gives a courage to the ability to be ready. But the question is how? How do you ferment yourself? Do you ferment yourself? Well, for me, I think this is very helpful because it helps us to be ready in our everyday lives. It helps us to go on and be ready to the next day, to the next event that day. And being ready is very important. And also, as a student and a teenager, I already experienced and encounter a lot of things throughout my life. Throughout the day I was born, and throughout the day I was in the womb of my mother, with the heartbeat, of course. Why? Because all pregnant mothers have their baby kept in their womb for 9 months. Because the baby needs to be fermented. And what do I mean to be fermented? The baby needs to be complete and ready before he or she comes out to the world, before we welcome them. They need to have arms, legs, eyes, and other parts of the body, inner or outer. It's also the same for the parents. The parents need to be ready for the baby's delivery. Fermenting is not a word. It's not just a word that comes out from our mouth and not just a word for culinary. That is a process. It is used in our daily lives. Did you know that? Well, for me, I know that, but for others, we don't just acknowledge it. But fermenting is used in our daily lives. And how do I say that? Well, I'm going to give you a situations for you to believe me. The first situation will be when you sleep at night You always check and think for the next day's possible event and things you need to do. And because of that, you're going to do anything to make yourself ready for that day. You ready your suit, you ready your dress, anything just to be ready. Because you know that day is going to come or that time is important for you. So that why you're being getting ready. The second situation is in school when the teacher gives you a project. They give it 1 week or 2 weeks before the deadline. Why? Because they want you to be prepared. They want you to think creatively so that you can pass a better project or good project. They want you to be ready all the time. Because fermenting ourselves makes us stronger to be ready to face any difficulties, right? So, are you satisfied with the situation I give you? Well, you need to be satisfied because it's from my own experience that I'm sharing to you. And that's what is my opinion. It came from truly in my heart. That's why I share it to you. Did you know that there are a lot of quotes that I find, but this one quote catches my attention. And this quote says, there is wine, the generalization, all life is fermentation. It is said by Richard P. Feynman. It really caught my attention because it truly is, right? It's like a wine. Wine is being fermented for a long, 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 long time. Because when you ferment it, it became ready to drink. Which made me think and realize that he is right. Humans need to be prepared and ready all the time. Just like our situation today. We are experiencing a pandemic. And because we are not ready, it became hard for us to make this challenge to pass, right? But why won't we make this challenge as a lesson to us? Uh, Ferment ourselves from it. Be ready be ready for the next possible situations like this, right? Maybe there's another one. We cannot know. So we need to be ready all the time. Being prepared and ready is not a crime. It's a good thing and right thing to do. So practice yourself while you're young. So, are you satisfied with the situation I give you? Well, you need to be satisfied because it's from my own experience that I'm sharing to you. And that's what is my opinion. It came from truly in my heart. That's why I share it to you. The word fermenting is very powerful. It is not just a word. It gives courage, it gives hope to the people. Me, myself, and I also fermented myself from this activity. Why? Because I also write my script and think, how do I say these words? How will I elaborate it to you? And how will I share it to you? That you will be inspired from the things I will share to you. Now I hope what I said and shared to you become your inspiration for you to be always ready. That is all. Thank you.